I don't want to go to heaven part 2. I can't sleep in on a Sunday. Probably have to be up worshipping day in, day out. The dress code is all white, and I'm not really a fan of white clothes. And what do you mean I can't chat shit no more? The food's probably too healthy that
Fuck you mean part 2? Huh?
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. I'm the brother Napak from Great Millstone, Tampa Branch. And I want to give double honor to elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach real well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the ones listening in. And I want to get into a quick lesson. All right, as you can see with the video that I, displayed on the screen. All right, you have she looked to be Jake, but I kind of doubt it, But she was listing reasons why she doesn't want to go to heaven. All right. And, the reality of it is, though, you have Jake in the comments viewing her as wrong, the way they live and their actions, it agrees with everything she's saying. All right. The saying action speaks louder than words. Because you got Jake in there. Oh, you tripping. What do you mean you don't want to go to heaven? But considering Jake's actions and ways, just they, in their heart, they feel the same way. Though they may not say it, she just was bold enough to say it. All right. But it also shows you, how, much more wickeder this place is getting. All right. Because everything she was listing, you can tell she was, it all really came from Christianity. All right. It all really came from Christianity. This is what Christianity, breeds. All right. And eventually, now they don't even, Jake, or people not even falling after that. So what are they going to? They're going to ways of, not believing at all, As, the world will call it atheists. They start believing in anything. They have no belief at all. All right. Real quick. To do good, they have no knowledge. I'm just, this is something that just came up through the Spirit. This is Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 22. It says, Jeremiah 4 and 22, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. All right. So this is, the ways of Jake, bro, of Israel. They're foolish. They're sottish children. They don't have any understanding. She was saying, oh, I don't want to just wake up and eat healthy all day, every day. Not understanding that this is what she's eating now is literally death. All right. But their ways love death. Jake loved death. It says they are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. That's just Jake, bro. They don't have no knowledge. Let me see if I can get that. But, Jake, they have no knowledge when it comes to, doing good, being righteous, serving the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And it's not just her. This is Jake overall. This is what the society has been brought to. All right. To a system of brain dead people, man. All right. You know, everyone wants to just be the next wicked nigga. No one wants to do right. No one wants to serve the Lord. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's what makes the men of the Lord and the woman of the Lord and the children of the Lord so much special. All right, that's what makes us different, man. We're a lot more different than these niggas, man. All right, because what the scripture says, Proverbs 8 and verse 36, but he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. So they sinning against the Lord and they wronging their own soul, bro. And these niggas know that. They know they in sin. They know they are in iniquity and they're going off in every way possible. All right. And now it's become to a point where it's not hidden anymore. It's out in the open and being embraced. It says, all they that hate me love death. All right. And that's what their actions and works show. The way Jake lived is that they hate the Lord. All right. And they love death. And she said it herself. She loved death. She loved being here, being wicked, being of the congregation of the dead. All right. Because life is boring. Life is too boring for her. She doesn't want it. You know, the true life. Okay? So a lot of these Jake can't be saved, man. They gotta realize it. They gotta understand the truth, you know, through death by pain. Alright? You can't save Jake. That's why we're not out there prophesying and preaching and trying to have every Jake come and you know, and shake hands and be cool with them, and next thing you know they out there teaching. No, bro. We're looking for the elect. All right, the 1/3. You know, to hell with the rest of these Jakes, bro, because they ain't for us. They ain't for the Lord. Why would we be for them if they ain't for the Lord, bro? All right, you heard what she was saying in this video, man. And then you got a nigga in the, that came on afterwards. You know, I tried to find a video with just her. You know, I tried to get the whole video of her, but, you know, it was always some bugged out ass nigga in the back coming out in the video, just, you know, trying to put his commentary in, which ultimately, you know, this nigga just trying to get views, bro. He just trying to get views. He just trying to get some type of, you know, clout off of this. You know, oh man, I'm gonna use this as a video on TikTok and get some views off this, just saying how wrong she is. And nah, nigga, you got a bonnet on, nigga. You know, you got a bonnet on and shit, man. But you know, it just shows you that our people are, you know, backwards, man. They're backwards. This nigga got a bonnet on. She just talking. You know, with all confidence and pride to be able to just to speak, you know. But this is what Esau have, you know, created. This is the kingdom that he's created. And in his agenda, you know, he's triumphing right now. All right? But not for long. Not for long, man. The Lord got to come back and he going to destroy these niggas, bro. When I mean niggas, I mean Jake. He definitely going to destroy Esau, but I'm talking about Jake right now, bro, because you see this. You see what's going on, bro. Jake got to be destroyed. Jake got to receive that pain, bro, that affliction, that judgment. All right? It says 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. And I want to get this in the NLT this time. It says, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction. So Esau will use every kind of evil deception to fool those. All right. And he's fooling majority of Jake. Christianity, you know, the AI, all these different devices and schemes and deception that he uses to deceive Jake, he has gotten them with. All right. But the scripture says we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. So the men of the Lord, the elect, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, bro. We see what he's coming down with. We see how he's trying to, you know, use this internet to deceive and keep deceiving Jake. All right? But not only Jake, it's like you, but the whole world. All right? The whole world. He's using his internet to control, all right, you know, people's views, how they think. All right? You see it now, bro. Internet has killed, you know, socialism. You know, people don't talk anymore. People don't socialize. People don't know how to make a fire. Man don't know how to change tires. Man don't know how to change oils. You know, these devils are triumphing in their agenda of, you know, destroying the society that lives now or that lived before. Where men were able to change tires and do all these different things and be men, and women were being women. All right? But not everyone's being something that they're not. Through this internet, through this deception that Esau has put on Jake, bro, put on people. All right? It says he will use every kind of the evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. All right? So, hey, bro, they you know, refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So, Lord, let Esau have his way with them. All right? Because they didn't want to accept the true understanding, the true knowledge. And they mocked and scoffed when it was given to them. All right? They denied it. For this truth would have saved them, man. All right? It says, so Yahweh will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they will believe these lies. All right, so the Lord will cause them to be greatly deceived, bro. And they're going to believe the lies. They're going to believe Christianity doctrine. They're going to believe the social media articles, all right, that come out about, you know, anything that Esau wants to put out to control Jake, to control your mind and your way you view things. They're going to believe it. They're going to, you know, be distracted by it. Because what? That's what Esau uses social media for, or the internet for, is to distract and to deceive. Okay? And he's distracting and deceiving everyone but the men of the Lord. Okay? We're rebuking these niggas on their social media, on their internet. It's a double-edged sword to them because now they're being exposed. You know, so as they're using to distract and deceive, we're using it to expose. All right? Expose and spread the gospel upon their platforms. All right? It says, and they will believe these lies. All right, and that's what Jake have been doing. Jake believed the lies, bro. Jake believed in the lies that were been told to them from birth. And what we're doing is we exposing those lies and telling Jake, like, look, man, you've been lied to. You know? But Jake don't want to hear that. They don't care about that. They want to continue to live comfortably in this wicked society. Because what Scripture says, you are your father, the devil. All right, so Jake have become of the father, the devil, Satan, the deceiver. All right. It says, then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth. And the KJV says that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. All right, so they all being condemned. All right, they all are damned. All right, because they believe not in the truth. They didn't choose to believe in the true understanding and knowledge. All right, but they have pleasure in unrighteousness. All right, you know, she didn't want to eat healthy. She didn't want to go to heaven because she didn't want to eat healthy. That's the craziest thing I heard, man. All right. You know, this is one of the craziest things. You know, I heard a lot worse here in Babylon. But what the Scripture also says is Lot vexed with their unholy conversations. It's the same with us. All right. It's the same with us. And let's get that real quick. You know. There we go. This is Second Peter. Let me see. I'll just get straight to the point. Actually, yeah, I'll just start verse 6. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 6 says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, and when you go into what they was doing in Sodom and Gomorrah, it was straight wickedness, bro. All right, it was straight wickedness, and that's why the Lord had to destroy it. People had pleasure and wickedness in Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the same thing here in Babylon. It says into ashes. It says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. All right, so he delivered just Lot, who was vexed with that filthy conversation, all right, of the wicked, the things that they were saying, doing. All right, it says verse 8, for that righteous man dwelling among them and seeing and hearing vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. All right, let's get down to NOT in verse 7. It says, but Yahweh also rescued Lot out of Sodom because he was a righteous man who was sick of the shameful immorality of the wicked people around him. Yes, Lot was a righteous man who was tormented in his soul by the wickedness he saw and heard day after day. So yeah, bro, it's the same thing with us. We're constantly tormented, by these wicked conversations, these filthy conversations these people have. You go on social media, you see, the wickedness these people enjoy, and it's disgusting, man. All right? We're vexed. All right? So we continue to put curses upon this place, man. So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect and the ones listening in. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Lord Yahweh. Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Once again, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom Akim.